Evening, everybody. Welcome to Kop Talk. This is our weekly agenda, and I think the talk of the town is currently Jude Bellingham. Ash, you need to mute your YouTube, mate.
YouTube?
I can hear myself in echo. Oh, it's gone now. So yeah, hey Jude, it's just so fitting. It was meant to be. It feels like, let it be. Jude, come to Liverpool. So first I'm going to introduce everyone. We've got Ashley. Welcome to Kop Talk again, our great panelist. And of course, you should know by now if you're a Kop Talk fan, we've got Stoney.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So yeah, we're just going to make a start on this one now. So there's always been rumours, haven't there, regarding Jude and Liverpool
from day one.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time now, hasn't it? Personally, I don't like to put it out there too much, but I did mention on our transfer day show for FTB SPORTS, I mentioned that I had a feeling we didn't sign anybody because we were waiting to sign somebody big, and my little gut feeling was it could be Jude because, he's not going to be cheap. And, Dortmund aren't going to let him go easily. So I think it was a case of this is my personal beliefs anyway. I could be very, very wrong. Really could be. But how well, Stoney, how well would this guy suit our team right now?
It's really interesting, and first and foremost, I very, very, very rarely join any show when it's to do with transfer speculation or anybody purchasing or coming to Liverpool, but it is what it is anyway. I think he'd be a wonderful acquisition. So he joined Dortmund in 2020, and I think they gave him the extension in June. So earlier this year, he's got the extension to, I think it's 2025. Yeah, 2025. But you're right. Look, he's probably
actually the most expensive 17-year-old at the moment, 25 mil.
And I think what they done. One of my mates, Rob, if you tuned in, one of the mates that we play pro clubs in the evening on FIFA 22. So Rob, if you're listening, this show's dedicated to you, all right? My mate Robert was saying that apparently Birmingham have retired whatever top he was wearing.
Yeah,
they retired it. Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's inspiration, apparently.
He's probably one of the very few complete midfielders out there. He's a box-to-box. I mean, he can play more of the defensive side, more of the offensive side. 18, he's got lungs for about 24 people, like Conte type 2. He's still young, he's still learning. I think him going to Borussia Dortmund is going to be amazing for his own development as well. And the fact that he's now in the England setup is only going to do wonders to his development as well. I think he'd absolutely be perfect at Liverpool. And similar to what you were saying as well, James, I think we don't really if we as a club, if we are usually linked towards people, it's usually on a hush-hush. So you're right, we didn't really make, well, we didn't. I think it was only Ibrahim that we bought last transfer window anyway. So we usually do our business quite well. And as you said,
swift.
We don't know how long Thiago is going to feature, next 2 or 3 years. That may be a replacement there. And as you said, it's unfortunate we're still seeing the muscle injuries with Keita as well at the moment.
Yeah.
It may well be that we do need to obviously bring in another central midfielder, and Jude Bellingham really ticks every single box under the sun. So
can Jude Bellingham play defensive midfield?
Yes, he can.
I
Okay.
think he's played on the wings as well.
Yeah, he can play the number 6. He can play even number 8. He's played in the 3 in there. He's played in the 2 in there as well. And we've obviously seen in a few games, especially with England, I'm sure Jordan Henderson's been whispering in his ears a few times as well. But you're right. If it was someone that was purchased, I think everybody would be elated.
I mean, I'll throw it. We've got LFC Krish. think that's how you pronounce it. Apologise if it's wrong. Jude Bellingham to Liverpool, John Henry and FSG exist. I mean, you know, we had all the FSG out protests after the transfer window, but I don't doubt them. I think they've done amazing jobs for us behind the scenes, and I like that we do our business behind the scenes. And like you said, we learned our lesson with Virgil, didn't we? You know, it was all out there. Southampton got their backup, which meant we had to wait till January, and the price went up. And since then, you don't hear shit.
That's why I don't fully believe this rumor, because it's too out in the open. It's too Klopp likes to do things sneaky, and it's like Kanate and all of them. And this is a way too open.
So the rumors reincarnated because so random. Former Hartlepool United boss Craig Hignett says he has it on good authority that Bellingham to Liverpool is almost a certainty. Really random, but obviously Bellingham started his career at Birmingham Championship. You don't know these guys. They might know some ins and outs and stuff, so it's not really coming from him. But what's interesting, and yeah, Fanatic One, he would suit us so well. I'm just going to throw up some stuff.
Well, you're throwing up as well. Good evening. Thanks for that comment, Fanatic number one. Fanatic number one is Aston Villa supporter.
Wow.
I think at some stage we need to try and actually get him on the show. His knowledge and depth on Aston Villa is amazing. I know he's been on the Man United Agenda show a few times as well. So if you're listening, Fanatic number one, we've got your details. I know how to get hold of you. So when we're playing Villa, you're going to come on the show with us.
Definitely, we love to have other team fans coming on just to hash it out with them. That would be amazing. So obviously that was tweeted from the Hartlepool boss, and everyone was then going mad saying Jude's on Twitter, Jude's saying that he's going to come to Liverpool. And this was actually his response on Twitter. He replied to this with this meme of him in England top laughing. Now, you can take this two ways. You know, you can take it as he's laughing like, yeah, right, like that's not happening. Or you can take it as like, yeah, watch this space, you know. I'll prefer to stay optimistic, you know, forever the hopeful, fingers crossed. Right. But it's interesting that he did even respond to it in the first place. He's since deleted it, you know. I think that's probably come from his
agent and his team.
He's got to keep his options open.
His agents like, no, don't do none of that, because I think Chelsea are also involved. But it's interesting. The Dortmund manager came out and he said it's not just Liverpool showing interest, there's other teams. So he's basically in that sentence confirmed that we are interested. So whilst we do like to keep it on the hush, it's not us going out saying it, it's other people bringing it out, which gives me hope. I mean, he debuted at 16 years old, 2019, and then I think he was the youngest ever goal scorer for Dortmund. He scored on his debut, the most expensive 17-year-old. He's just killing things. I think he's the youngest ever Champions League scorer as well. I think he beat Phil Foden's record on that, didn't he? But this season, so this is some of his stats from this season now. You know, I think the interesting one is the 26 fouls suffered. You know, when you think in the Premier League, a lot of people are talking about Grealish getting free kicks and then people can't get the ball off of him. So that's kind of similar to that situation. But he's just absolutely running it. And at such a young age as well. I think he's got a goal in Champions League. I think, I can't remember what it was now. Basically, he's played 61 games for Dortmund and he's got 7 goals and 10 assists. And he's only, you know, a teenager.
Yeah.
So who would he say, like, if Bellingham came to Liverpool, like, who would they replace in that starting lineup? Like, which player? Like, say, like, if everyone's fit and fiery.
Yeah, I think it would be quite interesting. I think if everybody was fit and firing and we were to play in the formation that we're currently playing with, we'd have Fab Holding as a number 6, Henderson as one of the number 8s, and then Bellingham as the other one on the other side, basically.
Ahead of Thiago?
Yes, in my opinion, yes. Yeah. I think we'd get so much more out of Bellingham than we would from Thiago.
Yeah, he's got more legs, hasn't
he? I still think we need to
days.
see the best of Thiago as well at Liverpool. That is, we still need to see the best of him. But if we're thinking of if we're looking at making certain tweaks to the way in which that we're currently playing, and we're obviously looking for future acquisitions, and as you said, bringing in new players to offer a new dynamic for us, then yeah, Jude can play in either left or the right with Fabinho and Henderson in there. That would be a wonderful midfield.
I think he's very similar to Hendo, like the way he plays, but he's got quicker feet, but he doesn't. He can't pass like Hendo though. Do you know the long passes?
He's a complete midfielder, Ashley.
Hendo though, do you see Hendo's passes? Like Hendo outside of his foot and stuff.
I mean, you have to think of the age. Henderson.
The age
long time to craft his thing. He's only a baby. I'll have to say, if you want to see him at his best, watch the Dortmund win. It was a 3-1 win versus, I'm going to annihilate this name now, Arminia Bielefeld.
Was that recently, 21st of October?
Yeah, and his goal, it was like watching Mo Salah. He just dribbled into the box, past all the players, did a little dummy on them, and then through the keeper. It was world-class goal.
Sign him up, Jurgen.
Confidence for days. Confident, rounded. There's nothing that you wouldn't say he's necessarily got a weakness in particular that you could highlight on him. It's obviously just a case of, are these rumours true or not? But I
heard a rumour about Bellingham's got a little brother called Jude Bellingham, and he's going to Dortmund as well. So if that happens, what's he going to do with his little brother? Is he just going to leave him in Germany?
He can come along as well. He can come over with us.
He's at Birmingham at the moment still, isn't he? I think his brother.
We'll meet him at the train station. I'll get him a Uber.
What's interesting with Dortmund, so they've put a price on him now, haven't they? They've said 101 million. I think, they're just saying we want more for him than Grealish. Right. I think that's all they're trying to do with that.
That's quite interesting, because even if that was the case, right, Gems, I think for Liverpool as a club, and I could be completely incorrect here, right? I would say over the years, we've never necessarily been big spenders. So per se, well, obviously when we got Virgil and we got with Alisson, I think a lot of that money was probably spent from Coutinho, I know a lot of the money from our clubs going into redeveloping the stand. At the moment, or stands. One of them has been done, and another one's in the process of doing it. And
but we have a night deal.
And I was just about to say that.
Right.
Not only have we got the night deal as well, Gems, the fact that we have won honours means that we have money in the bank, which we're very, very, very shrewd. So I believe if this was a player, and as we're saying, he's 18, all right? So minimum, we're going to get 5 years out of him, all right?
Yeah.
101 million pounds is a lot of money, but in football terms, I'm just saying in football terms, I believe that's manageable for our club. I also believe if he comes, he'll definitely get I definitely believe that he'll be a starter. But as you said, because over the years we haven't really spent a lot of money over the years anyway. What did we spend? Was it 36 max on Ibrahim?
Yeah.
Even that, we know how to spend our money. We've got money in the bank.
I think that was why. It was like, okay, so we'll suffer this summer for next summer. And it's interesting. So looking at Dortmund and how they do business, I'll go back to Sancho. So originally Man United showed a lot of interest. They put up a price. It wasn't the 75 mil they signed him for. I think the year before that, they were talking silly money, like 100 mil. Yeah. Man United have then gone back a year later and got discounted price. So I think they're doing that to put people off. So I think this is going to be a similar situation. I think we've gone to them in the summer. They said 100 mil. We said, all right, then we'll come back next summer. This is just my gut feeling, my belief. We've got Reese with us in the comments. Hey, Reese. He said, I'm not sure. I think rumours are bollocks.
Me too,
I mean, they could well be, but we just, you know, you have to entertain these things sometimes, you know.
I'd love him here.
Happen, you know, you just don't know. You just don't know.
You've got to dream.
I don't think we'll get him. Owners don't spend. Well, our highest paid player that we've got, like our record signing, is Virgil van Dijk for 75 mil. And you look, Man United signed Sancho for 75. And this is the same team. Would you say Bellingham is worth more than Sancho? I mean, obviously, I know at the moment Sancho's under Ollie, the curse of Ollie, on the bench. Let's go back to when he was at Dortmund. Would you have spent more on Sancho or Bellingham, or would you have said about the same price? Ash, what would you say?
When they was both at Dortmund, I thought Sancho was like world class and stuff. I thought Sancho was like Messi, but obviously not. He came to the Prem and got found out. Hopefully that doesn't happen to Bellingham.
Yeah, I think that's quite interesting. Ashley, you know, as you said, I don't think we've seen the best of Sancho since his return to English football. I'm not too sure what's happening at Man United. But you know what's really strange? Because when there was a few games ago that Sancho actually managed to actually play for England, and that was the Sancho that was at Borussia Dortmund. But at Manchester United, they've got him playing completely different. I mean, he's not getting much game time. No. But when they do play him, they've got him playing completely different. I still believe he's a wonderful player. I just don't believe Manchester United are going to be able to get the best out of him with this current manager. But hey, that's a topic for another show.
Gareth Southgate preferred Saka over Sancho in the Euros. So that says a lot.
Players like that, he doesn't know how to play like proper attacking football. That's my belief, and I don't think Ollie does either. I don't think they have that the balls or the imagination to just manage in that formation. But I'll go back to the main point, Stoney. Would you have said, you know, this time in the summer transfer window, the one just gone, would you have priced Sancho higher than Bellingham? Like in regards to each other, where would you have priced them? Because that's going to tell us a lot, I think, what Sancho cost Man United this summer.
I think I have to be honest with myself. I think I would have, I would have priced Sancho higher, and the reason being why he would have had more game time in Borussia Dortmund. So I think collectively people would have seen firsthand what Sancho was able to do consistently over a whole season, and what have you, that he was at Borussia Dortmund. So if it was over the summer based on those two, I would definitely have said that Sancho would have been priced much higher. I still believe that Sancho's obviously at a further stage of development as well, even though they're two completely different footballers as well. Way more game time and way more experience. Both wonderful players. But yeah, I'd have said Sancho.
My thoughts with that then is, you know, last year Man U signed Sancho for 75. So, you know, this is a year on into Bellingham. Maybe we did inquire last summer. This is the next summer coming now. I don't think he'll come in January. I think it'll be the summer. But will that then be, you know, a 75, 80-ish thing? I don't think it will be the 100 one. But like we've said, we were promised with this Nike deal sponsorship to get a player. Everyone thought it was Mbappe at the time. To be honest, right now, I'll go round. Who would you rather, Mbappe or Bellingham? Because I think
Bellingham all day long.
Right now, I'd rather have Jude.
All day.
The way that we currently, Mbappe, just put it out there, exceptional player, absolutely exceptional player. But I think he's got his heart set on going Real Madrid. But the way that we currently playing in terms of our requirements for the team, what I don't want us to do is just stockpile players. So if we were in a position to purchase Mbappe, he would add something to our club. It's as simple as that. 100%.
I don't think Mbappe is as good as Salah or Mane, so we'd have him as backup. You know what I mean?
I think they're different players, but they would. Mbappe would definitely add something to our club. But if I'm trying to think logically on what I believe our club actually need, I think we need a midfielder as a priority before forward or the offensive line. Somebody's probably going to put in the comments and say that I'm a bit of a clown or I'm a bit of a wally, but that's just my opinion.
I'd take Bellingham over him all day, every day. I mean, we've got this issue with, Wijnaldum going, and everyone was saying we didn't replace him. I think the most important place we needed to strengthen up was in our defence, which we did. And I think people keep overlooking that. And, let's not mess about. Konate, the Man United game.
Beast.
Absolute beast.
Monster.
What a signing. What a signing. And, there's so many people saying, oh, you didn't sign anybody. Well, we did, but we just did it so fast and so early that you didn't even think about it.
Exactly.
You don't really know about him.
Caught him off guard.
Watch him play, you can go on and boast about signing Sancho and Varane and all these, Grealish and stuff. We signed a 30-year-old that just bossed the game versus Man United at Old Trafford, and nobody made a fuss or anything about it.
Is Konate 30? How old's Konate?
No, he's young.
Oh, no, we signed him for, I think it was 36.
I thought that was it. I thought
No, he's not 30.
Wow.
Don't ask me questions like that. I don't know how old he is, but I know, about 20. I'll say about 20. Something like that. I know he's 20s. An inch taller than Verge. So if it happens, like Reece said, would fucking love him at LFC. He is a sexy baller. I mean, go and watch his goal versus
Bielefeld,
go and watch his goal versus them. He's like he looks like Mo Salah. Just on a different side, on the opposite side. Oh, imagine Salah on one side, Bellingham on the other, Bobby in the middle. It would be a beautiful thing. Let's just watch this space. We shall see. I feel like we are owed this, and every few years, eventually we did spend a lot of money on Virgil and Alisson, so we haven't had a big signing since Virgil.
No, we haven't.
We're owed one. Owed one.
We deserve one.
So I'm just going to move on now. So there is another little rumour. I'm going to flash this up. So there's rumours about Fabio Carvalho from Fulham, 19 years old, attacking midfielder. So at the moment in the Championship, I mean, this is the Championship and he's a midfielder. He's played 7 games. He's got 3 goals and 1 assist. Championship ain't easy, you know. My feeling with him is he has had a season in the Premier League. So he's got Premier League experience, which, you can't put a money on that. He's experienced these big games. He's not going to be daunted or overwhelmed. He's already had that. And then obviously what we did with Harvey Elliott and Clarkson, put them in Championship for some experience. So he's going to have had experience in the Championship as well, which I think makes players such a more rounded player as well. And I mean, the bonus is his contract's up in July.
End of June next year.
Yeah, and on Tuesday he refused an extension.
Okay.
So he'd either be free or pennies. In football transfer terms, he'd be pennies. I mean, Ash, you were saying that you haven't really seen much of him, or you're not really sure. But
I'm not seeing it, but I like how Jurgen's looking to sign players who are not walking into the team. He's looking to bed them in slowly, and it keeps team harmony, decent. So, like someone like Fabinho is not going to be like, "Who's this guy coming in taking my place?" You don't have that at Liverpool. So everyone's nice and comfortable.
Exactly.
From what you've seen of him, Stoney, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean
this rumor,
same thing as well. In terms of him obviously playing in the Championship last season, I know Scotty Parker's moved on, but if you're coach on, I like Scott Parker. I'm just putting that out there. I know I've mentioned it on a few other shows as well.
Excellent
I like Scott Parker.
Klopp said that he's beautiful looking as well.
I think he's a brilliant coach. So the fact that Carvalho had an opportunity to obviously be coached underneath Scott Parker, I think is a plus. Carvalho, he's had an opportunity as well to play for the England under 18s. I think he's had a few games for the under 18s. Attacking midfielder. I mean, he's young as well. We're still obviously looking to drop the age range of collectively of our group of players. He's only 19 at the moment. But as you said, his contract's up there. He's a central midfielder as well. Where would he fit in our team? Once again, as he said, He can drop in there, play either side of Fabinho as well. He can play either the attacking midfielders, either the number 8s, or as he said, if Salah or Mane aren't playing, he can play there as well. He's 19, so you know that
is he a bit like Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones style?
I'm trying to think what player he actually plays at, because he's actually one of these players who actually dribbles, who actually go past players.
Jurgen loves those guys.
I was going to say similar to Mane a little bit on
in a sense.
Night.
But you see how Coutinho used to play with us, where he can go past 1 or 2 players very quickly.
Yeah,
he's got light feet like that. So I'm not comparing him to Coutinho, and I'm not comparing him to Foden, but I'm saying the way that he can go past 2 players, that's Carvalho.
Lovely.
Yeah. So, and I think like the experience and stuff with him, we have got some good youth players that are getting some nice game time and stuff at the moment, and particularly Tyler Morton. I'm hoping that he gets a game versus Porto when we play the next group stage game. I think some of our kids might get a little shot now that the Champions League been put to bed, done and dusted. But I think what would be great, like he's already had Scott Parker training. Let's get him in quick. Get Klopp training him. He'll have a season like Konate, like, you know, all these other players. Like Curtis Jones had the benefit of having a season of training under Klopp before he started then getting pushed out gradually into the team. I think there's a difference between signing a player and getting them to start straight away, like we did with Jota, and then signing a player so that you can think to yourself, right, we're going to have him training for a season. Like you won't really see him for a season, and then the next season he'll be introduced gradually, a bit like Foden, a bit like Curtis Jones. You know, he won't be a starter player straight away, but we have to, you know, we asked this question at the start of the season: Keita, Ox, now or never; Origi, now or never; Thiago's getting old; Henderson's getting old. I mean, people have said Salah and Mane are getting old. I just don't look at them that way, because, you know,
they age differently.
They've just gone beyond age. You know, I'm not looking at that, but you know, you have to look at, I'd say, Henderson, Keita, Ox, and Origi, and kind of think to yourself, you know, next season, how are those players going to fit? Are they going to look?
At the same time, Henderson versus Atletico, he's aging like a fine wine. He was all over the place.
You know what? Oxlade-Chamberlain had the best game of the whole season, and I was looking at his stats. Like, he bossed all the stats. I think the first 30 minutes, he looked a little bit shaky. Some of his passing was a bit sloppy, and he looked like someone on the, I don't know if it was Klopp, just like said, right, fix up, man. Like, you can do this. It's getting that confidence from him. But I said on our aftermatch show yesterday with Paris, the main man was back, Fabinho.
Yes.
He is the key, because as soon as he's back in that role, Henderson can push forward. And we had that little, it was so beautiful, the Trent, Henderson, Salah little combination going on, which, you know, and Trent's assists were just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But I think the main thing was having Fabinho there so that Henderson could push forward. And that also having Ox with Fabinho. I don't think we've seen that often, because I think a lot of games Ox has played, it's been Henderson having to cover Fab's role. So I think actually seeing Ox with that, you know, that backup behind him, you start seeing Klopp's influence in him.
And you're right as well. I think there was a moment as well yesterday where Ox looked like he had a knock, and you could hear the commentators and everybody saying as well, hopefully it's not an injury. And even when he came off, obviously he was speaking to our physio with his hand over his mouth. I think that was a nice little moment there where he obviously trusted his body to actually come. I mean, he may have come off just to speak to Klopp, just to tell him something. Well, we're never ever gonna know. But the fact that he resumed playing,
and I thought, what are they saying? Like, they're covering their mouths. But I noticed Ox was covering his, but Thiago wasn't. And I was really trying to read Thiago's lips. Thiago just don't care. He'll just chat away. You know? But obviously, you know, we lost Bobby. Hamstring injury. That's just heartbreaking news right now. The front three were just on full gas cylinders. You know, I think the only 45 goals in 15 games.
The only benefit, I shouldn't say benefit, because I said you never ever want anybody to get injured. But I think the timing, I mean, we've got West Ham and then is the international break, isn't it?
Yeah,
so I
he's
mean,
not
in
going to go
terms of that,
international.
yeah, hopefully he doesn't. Hopefully Brazil don't call him up and let him stay here and rest, and then he can recuperate and come back after the international break.
But we've got fucking hammers. We've got Moisey, who's in the prime of his life right now. I'm so worried about
We've got a fresh Minamino who's coming in. He's been scoring goals in the cups and he's looking sharp. I've got confidence in Minamino.
We were discussing him yesterday and saying Paris is a bit upset that he's not been getting more game time. And
I am as well.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's good. He's a very good. I've been watching.
Where would you play him? So say for West Ham, would you have him in Bobby's role then?
Yeah, Bobby's role. But Bobby's role, perfect. Okay.
So bench Jota.
Oh no, I won't bench Jota. No, I'd keep. But in an emergency, if Minamino has to start, I'd put him on Bobby's role.
Okay.
See, yesterday the first 20 minutes I thought Ox was shaky, and the only other player that I said yesterday that I would criticize was Jota off the ball.
Okay.
I mean, his positioning when we're attacking is great, proper number 9 poacher waiting to get in for the Trent assist. He was in the perfect place, perfect time, and just did what you had to do with it. But other than that, I have issues with him in that role.
James, you're harsh. His aerial ability yesterday was like Peter Crouch. Anything in the air yesterday was Jota's. So I understand you were saying as well. It's fine. Obviously, we look at different stuff. The way that we obviously break down people's positional play. I think if he had an indifferent game yesterday, I think we have to give him that little pass as a one-off.
But it's been a few times now when he's played in that Bobby role, and I think when he's in that position, he's just it takes the creativity away from him.
He's got a high. He's got Bobby, right? Bobby's the best in that position in the world. So
I know, I get that, but I feel like him being boxed into that role, it takes something away from him, because I can remember when we first signed him and we had him in the midfield behind Mane a lot of the times, because everyone was saying, "Oh, so are you going to bench Mane now?" And it was like, well, we don't know. And then Klopp was playing Jota, Mane, Bobby and Salah all together. And I think Jota got 15 goals in 12 games and then got injured. But I think that was where he was at his best and he was confident. So, right.
The tough competition in our midfield. It is one of the best midfields
I was going to say, but at the moment, it's kind of like, right, there's people out injured. So stamp your ground. Show us what you've got. And I think Ox is really doing that right now. But yeah, it's just injury issues. And obviously there's these transfer rumours coming up, but we'll have to wait and see. At the moment, Keita's disappointing.
I can't wait till he comes back and scores another screamer. He's got a habit of that recently.
I want Ox to get a goal now. That's all he needs to add on to his repertoire. And I think, if Klopp thinks, all right, I'd be more than happy versus West Ham to have Fabinho, Henderson and Ox in that midfield.
Yeah.
With Trent, Salah. I'll be more than happy with that. Minamino. So I know you're saying like he's getting goals, but you have to look at the opposition, Preston, Norwich.
You can only beat what's in front of you.
I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm not. But this is West Ham. Like, you can't mess about. It's
a hard game.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what he's going to do, but I'll be more than happy with the Ox, Hendo, Fab triangle. Watch this space. I think we're going to come back. I think Paris, Ash, I think you're going to be here as well. We're going to do a West Ham pre-match.
Okay.
We'll just check up on, who's back, who's out. What do we think Moyes is going to do? I mean, it's crazy. We go back to, so after the last, I keep going back to this because after the last international break, me and Nick did a show, the next 7, and you look at all those games, there's only one game we've dropped points. One game we've dropped points in, and, what can you say? This is the toughest one, I think. Well, Atletico technically were, but I think we broke them when they I think we've broken Simeone, is what we were saying yesterday. Yeah. So the West Ham game is going to be, the final push for this.
We've got this easy
round of 7,
very
and then
easy.
It's just, preparing for Christmas. Anyway, watch this space. We are out of here. Keep an eye out for our pre-match game versus West Ham show, and we will see you soon. Bye, everyone.